Imagine diving into a bathtub full of snakes or covering your body with over 1,000,000 insects. And what if I told you a car once jumped over an entire city using just a ramp? Would you believe it? I thought those were the kinds of tall tales people tell, but no, folks. Get ready because today's video is something special. We're going to showcase the top 10 most unbelievable and insane Guinness World Records. But before we dive in, scroll down a bit and subscribe to the channel. We promise daily uploads, and we intend to keep that promise. So, subscribe now. And if you couldn't play the game alone before, well, now you can. And now, onto the video. In 10th place, we have the longest time buried alive. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Lucas here with another record-breaking video. So let's kick things off with a record that, despite sounding easy, we really don't recommend anyone attempting. It's pretty simple. Just stay buried underground for days. Yep, that's right, under the dirt. This record was achieved by the Czech guy. I'll have to call him because his name's a bit tricky. Zdeněk and Zalazar. Anyway, this guy stayed buried in a coffin underground for 10 days. And as bizarre as it sounds, folks, he really did it. 10 whole days without food or water, just relying on a tube for air and to avoid actually dying. He lost around 10 kilograms during that time, and interestingly, he spent most of it doing what he loves most. Sleeping. Speaking of insane records, let's talk about a game that's smashing everything in its path, breaking multiple records for audience numbers, views on YouTube, and being the most played game right now. By now, you probably know what game I'm talking about, but if you don't, well, you're about to find out. Just click that subscribe button and don't waste any more time. The game starts with you jumping out of a plane and the adrenaline kicks in immediately. You land on an island with other players, and it's every person for themselves. The last one standing wins. It's a blast, whether you play solo or with friends. You can build shelters, destroy enemy hideouts, customize your character with skins and dances, and engage in epic battles. And the best part? It's free to play and available on almost any platform, PC, Mac, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, you name it, your phone, and thanks to Epic Games for sponsoring this video. If you haven't played this game yet, it's essential that you give it a try. Click the first link in the description to Click the first link in the description to download and play. Maybe we'll even have a match together. And hey, if it's cool with you, we might record the game and play some Fortnite with our subscribers. Exactly. So download it now and add me, Lucas Max. All right, got it? Now, let's continue with the records. In 9th place, signing under a car. Now let's head to India, where a 6-year-old boy achieved a record back in 2014. A boy named Gagan Satish made it into the record books by rollerblading under 39 cars. Sounds impossible, right? Passing under a car on rollerblades. The only way you could do it is if there's enough clearance underneath. And that's exactly what he did. He skated under the car, under a manhole cover, you name it. In total, to set the record, the kid covered 70 meters in 29 seconds, practically glued to the ground. For those curious, the clearance was about 20 centimeters, roughly the height of a standard curb. Imagine skating under cars with just inches to spare above your head. Now, onto something bigger. The tallest basketball hoop. Have you ever played basketball at school or with friends on the street? Making a basket seems easy, right? Well, there's the three-point line, where if you score, it counts for 3 points because it's more challenging. To score from there, you have to shoot from 6 meters away, beyond the regular court markings. Now imagine making a basket from 180 meters away. That's right, 180 meters. It's like shooting from the top of a 60-story building. This record was set in Switzerland by a group of friends. I bet they tried millions of times before getting it right. And just for curiosity, the previous record was held by a YouTube channel called Dude Perfect, who scored from 162 meters high. In 7th place, the fastest cyclist in the world. Enough with height, let's talk about speed. How fast do you think the fastest cyclist in the world can go? Imagine being on a bike, just pedaling away. Typically, a regular person can reach around 25 kilometers per hour without much effort. But that speed is nothing compared to Evandro Portela, the Brazilian considered the fastest cyclist in the world in 2017. At 40 years old, Evandro set a record by reaching a speed of 201 kilometers per hour on an old bicycle. How is that even possible? Well, of course, he had to train for years to achieve such a feat. Just to give you an idea of how fast he was going during his record attempt. Sports cars and even a helicopter were used to keep up with him and validate the record. He holds the record for the fastest speed on a bike. But there's another guy who descended a mountain on a bicycle and reached a speed of, get this, 227 kilometers per hour. In sixth place, the highest jump into a shallow pool. Do you enjoy poolside antics like belly flops and cannonballs? Would you dare to live in a high-rise building with a rooftop pool? Well, that's what Darren Taylor does. Known as Professor Splash, he holds the record for the highest jump into a shallow pool. Picture this. He leaped from a height of 11.5 meters into a pool only 30 centimeters deep. Don't try this at home because it's downright crazy. This guy is a professional and has spent 24 years of his life mastering such stunts. In fifth place, the highest waterfall jump. If you thought jumping into a shallow pool was dangerous, imagine hurling yourself off a waterfall. You'd hit the water like a human cannonball. This record belongs to Swiss daredevil Lazo Schaller, who, at 27 years old, set the world record for the highest waterfall jump at 59 meters. He plummeted from that height in just 3.5 seconds, reaching a speed of 120 kilometers per hour. The impact with the water was brutal, and Lazo ended up dislocating his right leg, but he was quickly treated and is doing fine. In fourth place, jumping over a city using a car. If you thought jumping off a waterfall was extreme, how about jumping over an entire city in a car? Not just any car, though, a flying car. That's right. On August 27, 2016, American pilot Brian Ching Meneses entered the record books by jumping over an entire city using just a car. Of course, we're not far from the big cities like Sao Paulo or Rio de Janeiro, mainly because it would have to be a flying car, right? But tell me, how many times have you heard of someone jumping a car over a city? The record was set in an abandoned city in New Mexico with a length of about 115 meters. Even though it's just 115 meters, it's a lot for a car to jump. So, the guy had to use a highly modified car and a well-designed ramp to make it across the city. He also risked his life several times while training for this. The pilot got injured multiple times during training and even came close to death. Would you have the courage to risk more broken bones in life? We've talked about several radical and risky records, and in many of them, the person attempting to break the record ends up breaking some bones too. And now let's talk about the record for the person with the highest number of broken bones. If breaking a bone once already hurts, imagine breaking a whopping 1,433 bones. That's the number of fractures American Robert Craig has had throughout his life. Known simply as Evil, this guy became famous for his radical motorcycle jumps. He jumped over trucks and even giant famous buildings. Throughout his life, he made over 150 jumps and broke around 35 different bones, some of them multiple times. An interesting fact is that his most severe fracture left him in a coma for 29 days. In second place, covering the body with bees. Let's leave the bone breaking aside and talk about something bizarre. But let me warn you, it's not for the faint-hearted. Let's talk about the record for covering your body with insects, with millions of insects, specifically bees. And of course, this record couldn't come from just any country. It had to come from China. In 2015, a 55-year-old Chinese man named Gao Bingguo entered the record books after covering himself with 1 million bees. Yes, you heard that right, 1 million bees. If you gathered all those bees and weighed them, it would be equivalent to 109 kilograms of bees on the body. But even with this enormous amount of bees, Gao remained calm. He even lit a cigarette while covered in bees. Talk about nerves of steel. To attract the bees onto his body, 12 queen bees were placed on him. Of course, with 1 million bees, Gao was stung several times, but he didn't give up. He's the proud owner of this record. 12 queen bees were placed on his body to attract the others. Of course, with 1 million bees, the Chinese man was stung several times, but he didn't give up, man. He kept going and now holds the record, first place, for the most amount of snakes held. With a hungry girl, eat snake when you're hungry, is Jorge Biocom's motto. Fear of snakes? If you think any snake will do, think again. Not just any snake counts, only rattlesnakes, as BB is known as the Snake Man of Texas and holds the record for the most rattlesnakes held in the mouth. He entered the record book in 2006 when he managed to hold 13 snakes in his mouth for 12 seconds. Just imagine holding those snakes and making a comeback this year with one in the throat. This guy is so crazy he doesn't just have that record. He also holds the record for the person who entered a bathtub with the most number of snakes. Yeah, he must sleep until the snakes do because of that bathtub stunt. He was bitten more than 11 times and even lost feeling in some limbs due to the bites he received over his life. Now, let's not just focus on ego. Let's try to beat records together that everyone can do, everyone can practice for peace. Click the record thumbs up, folks. Let's try to beat the record of doubt to see if you can stay cool for 20 seconds. Hit it, and you guys, never forget to subscribe. The rain has come. Now it's time to emerge second. I don't know if you'll leave or stay. According to a video you can watch, you might as well join in. And that's it, folks, for today's video.